Welcome back. Like we've been pointing out, the markets are down and out today. The Nifty is down 2%. The Bank Nifty is approaching a 4% fall. And the mid-cap index also down about 2%, 1:3 on advanced decline. India is the underperforming market, and this is because of the surge of COVID cases and the partial lockdown that we have in Maharashtra. Ramdev Agarwal is joining us, Chairman at Motilal Oswal Financial Services. Ramdev, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Like we've been discussing, it's a bit of a deja vu. Last year also we had almost similar situation. But if you bought last year, you would have made a lot of money. Do you think something similar could play out? Is this the time to buy right now?
See, I don't know. I mean, last year was pretty clear that the decline was so rapid and so deep that clearly, in my own history of 40 years of investing, this was the fourth calling way back in March. So anything can happen in the market, but it doesn't look like the correction will be that deep. I hope it remains a correction only, it doesn't collapse. Because vaccination is right in front of us, we have economic recovery, we have huge stimulus, global markets are on fire. So I think a lot of things are going for it. And most importantly, the government is not in the mood to lock down the economy because they have seen the economic cost of lockdown, total lockdown is very, very high. So keeping all this in balance, I would say yes, it calls for a good correction, but not a catastrophe like what we saw last time.
Okay, but still, Ramdev, is there going to be, some kind of damage to the earnings which the market may not have priced in, especially for the economy-facing stocks? And do you see perhaps some degree of underperformance in some of these stocks from here on?
Yes, clearly, financial sector which suffered the most last time. Again, they are vulnerable because ultimately the borrowers, they will get impacted. Less so this time, but clearly even now, that is the most vulnerable part of the economy, particularly the unsecured loans and the lower end of the population. They would have kind of a little more stress this time again coming from second wave. And nobody knows what is going to be the size of the second wave, the pace at which the cases have risen in last 15, 20 days, maybe a month. It is completely taken everybody unaware. So I think, and it is much more only Maharashtra centric. So if you believe that it is going to catch up the rest of the country also, so I think we could be looking at a slightly more dangerous situation. So I think correction will be there. But I think in the same sector which have suffered last time, they will suffer again this time and maybe less so, but looks bad for them.
Okay, Ramdev, hi, good morning. Hope you're safe and healthy wherever you are. I wanted your thoughts on autos because you watch that space so closely, and now with more people staying at home, more cases, personal mobility may be on the rise. Is this a good time to be buying auto stocks or not quite?
The auto should be doing well. I mean, now the marriage season is kicking in April, May, June. And the sector has not been particularly very buoyant for some time. So, and I think even transition to Schedule 6 cost-related depression and the volumes should also be somewhat behind. So I would think that auto and then MHCV, you must have seen the March number. It's quite staggering. So I would think that auto on the whole should do well.
Okay. Ramdev, I just want to read out the PMI numbers are flashing by and it's a 7-month low. The March index is about 2 points lower than the February index at 55. Well, you should not run away with too much about PMI. PMI is a very different kind of survey. It doesn't have any volume numbers. People don't tell you how much output. They just give you a directional answer. That's the kind of survey, but still it's important as an indicator that sentiment is down in March to 55, 2 points lower than what it was in February. Ramdev, we just had the Bajaj Auto gentleman speaking with us, Rakesh Sharma. And he said the mass segment is not picking up. People, shopkeepers who haven't seen business, those kinds of people are the mass segment providers, and there the demand is clearly not picking up. Where else can this hurt? This slightly mass lower middle class segment, which quite clearly has been hurt. Will it hurt banks? Will it hurt NBFCs because MSMEs can't pay back?
Yeah, clearly, wherever the collaterals are weaker, I mean, unsecured or weak collaterals, I think that's a segment affordable housing. I think those kind of segments are going to be most impacted. I mean, there were the segments they got most impacted last time. There is no reason to believe that this time there will be new set of guys who will get impacted. In fact, the problem would be that they are barely they have not even come out of the last shock, and this new one is coming in. So it could be a fatal blow kind of situation. So I think that segment, unless there is a massive pickup in the economy, there is a job creation, which is little away, if at all. So I think that's a segment. I think it is going to be a repeat of what happened between in last year in terms of the affected sector, whether it is tourism, restaurants, shopping malls, aviation, all these kind of things, small shop owners where people have to go. I mean, literally, government is asking them to keep it closed. So how will they do it? So I think stressful sectors are very clearly there, laid out. How fast we do vaccinations. One of the things I see, Lata, is that last time Corona was less, fear was more. This time Corona is more, fear is less. So I don't know how the markets move more by not Corona, but more by the fear, consumer sentiment, and how the markets behave. It's more to do with the fear rather than just the actual cases.
You put it very well, Ramdev, I must say. But you're speaking about the loss of jobs, I guess, in salons, in waiters, shop attendants in large malls, even street vendors, hawkers. These are the people who have lost their purchasing power, and jobs, as NASSCOM just told us, is getting created in the slightly more middle and upper middle segment, perhaps digitization, digital jobs, and BPO and stuff like that. So therefore, will there be a churn in your stock choice? I mean, I know it's a heartless question to ask, but even if there is a humanitarian issue in terms of job creation, will IT, for instance, still have legs to run?
Yeah, I think IT looks to be very, very good to me at this juncture, because we have seen the order book position coming from in last 3 quarters when the lockdown was actually on, and the world moving to digital adoption in terms of online shopping, online, everything online. So I think now the companies all over the world, they are in a hurry to upgrade their systems and do whatever, whether it is cloud and other technologies. And that's why even for a company like our company, which is a small company, which employs say 200, 300 IT professionals, we are facing problems in terms of the quality of people to attract and retain. So I think there is a shortage of talent, even in India, and I don't know what will be the condition in US and Europe. So, and the corporates are wanting to do more and more and very quickly. So that, next week the results will come. You'll see the straight from the mouth, all the commentaries. And analysts have put out their estimates saying that sequential growth will be more like 4-5%. And so I think IT looks to be, still it is not completely overpriced for their cash flow, their quality of franchise. And it is not going to be a quarter or 2 quarters of boom. It is going to be multi-year, because you just got the order, the mobilizing, executing, you'll actually see only with a gap of 1 or 2 quarters. So I would remain very positive on IT, Indian IT per se.
Ramdev, was a slightly generic question. I know mid caps as a basket is not something that you can buy, but we ended a 3-year bear market for the mid caps, and we saw a big rally in the mid caps for the last 6 months or so. Do you think that is where perhaps there's still some valuation headroom compared to the Nifty, which right now perhaps could be at the highest level ever? Would you agree with that view? And what would be the broad pockets to buy then in mid caps?
It all depends on how long this trying times continue. Because in bad time, large companies are far more stable, and their their security, their growth, and everybody converges towards the large cap. In the sense that even for the businesses, the large companies are able to win much more easily than the smaller companies. So I would think that in troubled times, it is better to hide under the big tree rather than going to the small tree. And so that would be the, I mean, I really don't know how to think about the second wave, how big it will be, how it will be. The only consolation is that there is a vaccine already in the place. So that can mitigate the spread and the pace of second wave. But otherwise, the market can move point of time.
Okay, I think the market is very concerned about the second wave as well, Ramdeo. Look at the way it's sliding now. The Nifty is now down 330 points. The Sensex is down almost 1200 points and not stopping. There's almost 1830 stocks on the declining side. So that's 1:3. So what should the most prudent strategy be for a retail investor watching you right now, Ramdeo? Is it a good idea to sort of book profits, if you have any, across large caps and mid caps and sit on some cash now, just, you know, riding out the storm for a bit? Or would you advise putting in money in small amounts even in this fall?
Sonia, I mean, I cannot advise anybody. I can only talk about what I do, in the sense that we are going to sit it out, in the sense that we'll remain invested, and if there is any flow or something like that, we will invest very promptly wherever we think that correction is deep or wherever we see opportunity. Because one thing is for sure, this calamity, even the second wave, is going to be temporary. This also will pass, in the sense that in the first wave, at least the vaccine was not in horizon. Nobody knew when the vaccine is going to come. Today, there are 4, 5, 6 vaccines all over the world, and India is the vaccine capital of the world. So we have and then we also didn't know how the central banks are going to respond last year. Today, we know how exactly central bank is going to work, and even the government. So I would say that the fear and the damage will be far more limited compared to last time. So we have to live the life of corrections and stay put, because I would think that post all this debacle, we have wonderful years ahead, and literally boom kind of conditions are there all over the world. So there is no reason to be completely out of the market. In fact, this dip should be used as an opportunity to the guys who are sitting out to actually get in. I would say that they should definitely think about getting in slowly.
Well, actually, you have answered most of my what was to be my last question. That if you looked at the way the trajectory of the US indexes have been, they also went through that hump when the second surge happened, the dip that is. And now with vaccinations picking up so quickly, the DJIA, for instance, is at its all-time high. What, 20 points shy of its all-time high as we speak. So Ramdev, you know, even if the government gets its act together in terms of allowing a very rapid vaccination by, say, private entities, you know, Reliance had already put out long back a note that it wants to pick up the tab, and I think all other companies, many other companies have also said that, including small mid-cap companies like Havells. If some such a whistle is blown that you all can start en masse, then this is a great dip, isn't it, to buy?
Yeah, so it will happen. Let's see how much time it takes, because we were talking to some public health officials. They said basically government is interested in seeing the ICU facility wherever vaccination is happening. So if by chance anything goes wrong, the patient can be immediately taken care of. That's the constraining factor. Otherwise, like other vaccines, it can be rolled out very quickly. But once they have the experience of seeing that there is no danger in giving the vaccine per se, then I think they'll open it up. They have enough inventories and enough volunteers who would like to do it. So I think it is going to happen, and there's no other way but to go for a much quicker vaccination. So yes, that is what exactly. And Lata, let me tell you one thing: the risk is not going to be what we are discussing. Risk is going to be something which we cannot even think and talk about it. It will be way beyond that. And what is that? Of course, we cannot discuss. So the markets are prone to those unknown and unknowable kind of factors, which is going to come to play, particularly when this kind of rapid rise.
Got that. No, okay, Ramdev, we're running out of time. Just one last question then. What about this metal super cycle? Are you participating in this? That's of course a global play. We've seen the big stimulus in the US. Do you think it still perhaps makes sense to add some stocks from the steel basket in the portfolio?
I think so. Yeah, this is a huge rally. I mean, actually, it is stunning. I mean, every country, every government is going for a stimulus, and government expenditure will go to the infrastructure, whether it is US, India, China, everywhere. So, and the capacities are not come in last 8-10 years. So clearly, there is going to be a squeeze, and it could be metal wise. Some metals could be far more vulnerable to this kind of squeeze, and some maybe little less. But I think this super cycle, which has been touted, is there. It looks like very much there.
Okay, Ramdev, thanks a lot for joining us. It's been a tough morning, and thanks a lot for helping our viewers with all the advice. That's the word from Ramdev Agarwal. The market is still almost at the low point of the day, though it stopped falling now.